came across a quotation recently that suggested that it wasn't taxes, legislation and trade unions that made the poor much richer. It was innovation. So what a wonderful opportunity to come along this week to Huddersfield's Innovation Centre, the 3M Buckley Centre out of the Huddersfield University, and talk about innovation as it is Innovation Week. And to help introduce us and show us around the centre here, we've got Sue Cooke, Chief Executive, newly appointed Chief Executive of the 3M Buckley Innovation Centre. So thank you for hosting us today.
You're welcome.
And can I congratulate you on your appointment?
Thank you.
And could you sort of refresh our memories by sort of telling us the purpose of the centre here, what it does, what facilities there are, and sort of some of the clients that you have here?
Yes, certainly. So the centre's been open over 6 years now, and it was set up to be a centre for enterprise and innovation, and as you said, part of the University of Huddersfield, and so particularly with a focus on collaboration with the university and the research and the academics that are doing great things on our campus that can benefit businesses. And so this is here to be a shop window and an access point for businesses to benefit from all that great expertise. So in terms of what we do here, we have offices and labs that businesses rent from us. Some of them are start-up businesses, some of them are a little bit more established. Mm-hmm. Some have come here and with 2 or 3 people and grown to 20 or 30 people. So it's been part of our...
Massive success story
yes,
there.
Part of our support to flex and grow with them as they expand, find them more space, and some of them move out when they're too big for us here. Yeah. But that is a success for us. We also have some conferencing and training facilities, meeting rooms, so that a business can rent those that's based here, or even ones that are not based here. So we're part of that ecosystem for Huddersfield and the wider West Yorkshire area for businesses to up their game and have access to latest leading edge facilities. Yep. And I think the thing that makes us unique here in terms of what other centres don't particularly have is that we have a lot of technology on the premises, and we combine that with design capability. So we have a couple of our own designers, product designers, who work with businesses who are not based here necessarily, come from all over, to design prototypes. They use our facilities on 3D printing, so whether they're printing prototypes in plastic or whether they're printing things in steel or titanium to test out these products with customers, then that is a great facility on the doorstep, in the centre that businesses can use.
So are there any specific sort of blue chip clients that you'd like to name drop?
Well, we work with a lot of clients under non-disclosure agreements,
yes,
particularly if they're working on prototypes, new products. So we do work with quite a number of significant engineering, manufacturing, tech companies that we can't tell you what we're doing with them. Mm. So I'll maybe illustrate some of the kind of businesses we have based here and some of the kinds of projects that we've worked with where we can't name names. Yeah. So the companies that are in here that have done really well and grown, we've got Ionics Advanced Technologies. They were a spin-out actually that came over from Leeds. They needed lab space, which we have here, which is very rare. So they came here to develop their intellectual property around ceramic sensors. They sell into facilities in extreme environments, cold, really hot, and so they have expanded here with the manufacturing facility as well as their design, development and sales. So they've taken up increasing numbers of rooms with us and go from strength to strength there. We have Innovate Orthopedics, who you've been talking to in another interview, who are in the medical devices area, so I won't kind of repeat their story. We've got Adventurous, they're an app developer, they're in the commercial sphere. They have recruited a lot of people from across at the university, so whether it's be developers, computer skills, sales skills, etc. So they've really benefited from being able to expand in response to their customer demand. And then the other one you might have heard of is Red Kite Games. They make computer games and video games. Came here a few years ago with about 3 or 4 people. Have now outgrown us. They're having to move to different premises. They're now over 30 people based here. And again, we've expanded their space to help them grow. And they've recruited a lot of people, sort of students, graduates from the university. So they're people who've been based with us for the kind of technical kind of work. And the design services that we have. Then Paxman Coolers, I don't know if you've heard of them.
Okay.
They're
Yes.
a Huddersfield company, started off in brewing technology and through family tragedy really have diversified into scalp cooling to prevent hair loss in cancer treatment. So that company has worked with the university and the 3M BIC over, I think, a couple of decades really in evolving their technologies, and they now have invested around £1 million with the university in a special institute for scalp cooling technology. So that is the kind of perfect example really of how a local SME can really tap into the strength, the research backup that is available through the university and the 3M Buckley working together to help them kind of take the steps to get their product established and verified in a different market.
Yeah, and that was one of the questions I wanted to ask really as well, because it's not just about being based here at the centre, isn't it?
No.
It's about being able to sort of network into the wider
Yes.
business community and help with that technological and prototyping development that businesses need.
Absolutely, yes. I mean, we do have a lot of rich facilities here. We have the ability to print in 3D in plastic and then in metal, which is quite an expensive facility to have. SMEs can't afford that necessarily in their own businesses, but they can come here, test things out. We can give them access to academics from the different specialisms that the university has. We have a lot of experts in metrology, measurements. We have scanning technologies, really fine tolerances to test for faults and measure products for businesses. We have a lot of medical and science expertise across the road in the university. So there's a lot here that people can tap into, and we're trying to open the doors so that businesses can find that more easily if they're not used to dealing with the university.
And I suppose that leads us on to Innovation Week as well, doesn't it, in a way? It's just
It does.
exactly what's happening with Innovation Week and who's involved.
Well, Innovation Week is running from the centre with the idea of raising the profile of innovation, not just in Huddersfield, but across West Yorkshire. I've mentioned a lot of the people and the facilities we have here. What I thought in arriving here in this new role was that we need to make more people aware of this. This is a fantastic resource. Not enough people know about it. We need to get the word out there. So Innovation Week is partly about doing that, but also creating those opportunities for businesses to talk with academics, with designers, with students even, and to create those collaboration opportunities that might not otherwise happen, where you need to bring people together to talk about innovation in a week which is just focused on that. So we have got a number of events. We've had a Business Innovation Week with Siemens, with 3M, to give that global perspective on innovation, and then with Ionics, I mentioned earlier, talking about their local stories and SME. We had quite a few of the support agencies that help with innovation, the LEP, the local council, and some of the other organisations like PAPI and RTC came along. So they were all helping to advise businesses who are looking for funding or other practical support. So that was a really good innovation session for business. We've got another session happening this week with academics coming along. We've got about 20 of our research academics talking to businesses who want to drop in, find out a little bit more about their work, see if they can learn from the research that's going on, and also maybe strike up opportunities for joint projects together in the future. But it's very kind of low stakes, nothing scary. It's just come in and have a chat to people, find the common ground, see what you can learn. We've
and
also,
of course people can do that any time as well, can't they?
Absolutely,
But,
yeah. This is just to raise the profile, get the word out to the business community.
Yeah.
And we didn't want to leave the students out. We thought it would be great to get some of our product design students involved. So we set a design challenge to say, can you come up with a product that is got flair and imagination, but is also something that can be commercialised? And so we announced our winners yesterday, and had sponsoring judges from 3M, from Siemens, from Mamas and Papas in Huddersfield, and Elmwood Design in Leeds, who've all offered the student winners a visit to their studio or their factory, their design centre, to learn and hopefully get contacts that will help them in their career. So we had some really impressive designs that are on display in our centre this week for people to come in
and
see.
I was looking earlier at some of the solutions and some of the designs there, and they're absolutely fantastic and
they're really talented,
highly professional.
Yes, they are,
and practical as well, in terms of you see that they could actually go through into production, which is be marvellous. So we chatted about Innovation Week and realising how important it is. What are your views on how we are as a nation, as we are regionally, and how we are locally at the skill set and being able to support innovation?
Well, I think there are two issues around innovation, both as a country and probably reflected in our regional stats as well. So the things that are holding us back in the economy are low productivity and also low levels of collaboration for R&D, particularly between SMEs and universities. So if you frame those as opportunities, then on the productivity side of things, what we need is more businesses to be open and enlightened about what technology exists and what can work for them. So whether it's digitisation of manufacturing processes, whether it's software to improve the design of their products. We have software here that can take weight out of components, which is great for the climate agenda, because it saves plastic basically. So if you've got a component that we did an example that weighed 30 grams, and through clever design and application of technology you can reduce that to 8 grams, and millions of these are produced. So there's lots of clever methods of improving productivity and improving resource utilisation as well. So that whole productivity agenda means that what you really want is best use of technology for all the laborious processes, and then higher skilled people doing the clever design, the clever ideas, the development work, and that will lift up our pay rates in this country through that kind of investment. Obviously innovation plays into that, because we need to have clever new products to keep us ahead of the competition. So we're not competing on low wage issues, we're competing on brain power and design and creativity. And so collaboration between businesses who are full of invention and ideas but don't always have the time to bring them to fruition, that's where I think great collaboration can go on with the university and through ourselves, some of our opportunities here to help businesses create the time to get their product development established and give it what it deserves in terms of focus, because they're busy with the day job. So the opportunity to benefit from the best of, not just in Huddersfield, but the whole region is rich in universities, but compared to say London and the South East, we don't create as a region the same number of patents and intellectual property outputs. So really there's a challenge for us all here to get the resources in our regional universities really put to work with our businesses, and that will lift that innovation effectively.
Yeah, certainly you look at sort of the likes of Cambridge, you look at London, you look at the M4 corridor, all very high skill, high wage economies, as opposed to more in the north east, northwest, tend to be more low skill, low wage economies, and we've got a chance to do something about it.
We have, and we are attracting a lot of the people who work in this centre, who've been recruited by the businesses here, are in scientific roles, they're in design roles, they're product developers, they're computer software people, so they have got those high skills, and we have got businesses in this region who can exploit those markets and do well. And if you give these graduates a reason to stay and be part of that, then more people will flock to this area.
The final question then, obviously you've a fantastic passion for innovation and regional local support. What's your background? What's led your career path to be sitting where you are today?
Well, for the last 10 years or so I've been based in Leeds, working for the Leeds City Region Partnership, which then became the LEP, the Local Enterprise Partnership. So I was involved from the beginning in setting that up, working with the local authorities, working with businesses to create 3 areas of activity really. So skills and employment programmes at the beginning of that era was the height of the recession. There was all the whole lost generation youth unemployment. So I worked on a lot of schemes and programs to help with that. Then business support, and my background before that was as a business advisor in Business Link, and I was a director of the Business Link West Yorkshire, and so my background in business support meant that I was able to work with ALEP to develop a whole new set of business support programs and offers for SMEs in particular, including innovation programs, which I'm pleased to say, fits in really nicely with what I'm doing now. And then the other area which I took on more recently was inward investment, so working to attract businesses from outside the area, either from overseas or from the south of England and London. So the Channel 4 project, for example, was one that my team worked on. So I had quite a varied economic development brief there. But this was a great opportunity to take on a chief exec role, to get involved in a more focused way with innovation, and to come back to Huddersfield, which is where I live. So that's great for me.
That's a marvellous story to hear. I wish you all the success, because if you're successful, the centre's successful, and the local economy will be successful as well. So I'd like to thank Sue Cooke, Chief Executive here at the 3M Buckley Innovation Centre, and we look forward to seeing you again on Kirklees Local TV.